So Petit still leading. Agostini trims the lead to just under 3/10 now, 0.289. That stretches his gap back to Valentin Asclo and the Aston to all of 0.085 of a second. The improvement was to an 18.605, 1 minute 18.605 for Riccardo Agostini.
Ferrari's looking really, really strong, as has been the case all the way through practice. Philip Ellis trying to extract lap time from that AMG, but it's not coming.
No.
5th place at the moment with 2 minutes 10. He's probably going to have one more run in this.
Yeah,
maybe two.
He backed out of that coming through. He was way over the curbs at the top of the hill, unsettled the car completely. Right-hand side, Michelin's off the ground, and you're going to hear, even from the onboard microphone, the car slamming back onto the ground and grounding out. He'll maybe try and clean off his tyres and go again. He's on the back straight at the moment, and that was a big armful of very rapid correcting opposite lock that he needed. Meantime, the 023 Ferrari currently in 8th position. Kenton, Cook, Triazi. Kenton with an odd season because he's had to change teams partway through the season. He's been fairly philosophical about it. The Corner Racing team decided to change tack and left him without a drive. It's been picked up by Triazi, and that's kept his championship challenge going.
It has. He's really mathematically out of the picture coming in. He could finish as high as 2nd depending on how things go. But it's been a strange week for Kenton. Just coming down some stairs, he sprained his left ankle. So he's had to right foot brake this weekend for the first time since he was racing an MX-5 Cup. He said it's taken a little while to get used to it, but he's still been pretty quick.
He's been very quick. He's been in the top 2 through Sector 1 and Sector 2 throughout the free practice sessions, making the most of that Ferrari package. I guess there's not many big braking zones in those 2 sectors. Oh, a big moment there for Kenton Cook coming through turn 4, the rear of the car just snapping around, looking quite nervous actually. It's a roller coaster ride round Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, quite violent over the bumps too.
You've got to be really patient at turn 5. The idea is to take pace into turn 5 and not trying to get on the power too early. If you do, you'll just get pushed out and over that broad curve. You can ride some of it, and some people even like to take a bit of the tarmac, which is one of the alternative circuit layouts here. It's still Patrese. He's in the pits. The top 6 are in the pits. Chetelaar, Triazi, Van der Ster, AF Corsa, Winward, Heart of Racing, Kenton Cook on a lap at the moment that is not improving him or his position. Who else is still out there? Eric Filgueras, Frankie Montecalvo, Manny Franco. How's Manny doing? Nice. Might just improve actually, Manny Franco. I need to keep an eye on him in the 34 Ferrari. 2 Ferraris, an Aston, a Ferrari, an AMG, an Aston, a Ferrari, an AMG, a BMW, and a Ferrari in the top 10. Lamborghinis, Porsches, Lexus, all outside the top 10 at the moment, Peter. The GTD Pro Endurance Cup entering Petit LeMans, the number 1 car, Neil Verhagen, Madison Snow, Conor De Filippi are 4 points to the good ahead of Dan Harper, Max Hesse, with the 77 Porsche of Klaus Bachler and Lauren Heinrich, 10 points back. Aaron Thielen still at the head of the field, and is that a faster time? 6.90? Yes, it is. Goes ahead of Katzberg with the 747. Look how tight that is, though, Pete. They're particularly behind the leader.
Well, Katzberg's trying to find some time here, and he's personal best in Sector 1. So Nicky Katzberg in car number 4 for Corvette Racing. If he can keep this up, he will be looking to take pole position. Although for Corvette Racing, it's the wrong car. Really, they need the blue car to be putting together that time. Frederick Vervish in the 65 Ford has improved on the last lap, a 119.4, but still sitting 9th in class at the moment.
The only good news for Garcia and Sims, who are going for the title in the 3-car, and we know how close this is. The points are remarkably close in GTD Pro. Costa is behind them and actually will lose his fastest lap. This is another one of the cars that brought out a red flag earlier in the session. And quickly to answer your question, 4, 8, and 10 are where the Endurance Cup points are paid.
Costa goes up to
there it is.
third place, 18.763.
But we'll lose that time.
So that'll put him back down to where he was, which was 5th, I think, if I remember rightly. I did take a note of that as soon as or at least I did make a mental note of that. Telitz, Katzberg, Costa, Heinrich, so Lexus, Corvette, Chevrolet, I should say, Ferrari, Porsche, BMW, 5 manufacturers in the top 5, PMAC.
Dan Harper coming to the line, though. This could be a very strong time as he comes through in the 48 BMW. Pole position for Dan Harper provisionally then. What a lap time, 1:18.672.
Still not as quick as either Riccardo Agostini or Lorenzo Patrese, though. Isn't that amazing? I just wonder if that sun coming out, gentlemen, has just heated the track surface a tiny little bit. But what a lap by the Northern Irishman. Dan Harper, loving life, has a smile on his face seemingly constantly. You can hear it in his voice when we talk to him. I love talking to Dan Harper. I interviewed him right at the start of the season in Qatar. Through goes Costa. So Costa now, he will lose that lap time, so that will only drop him down to 3rd position, I think, now.
Unless he does another one.
Well, there's a chance, yeah, as it starts.
Harper's going quicker again. Harper's personal best in sector 1.
Lap.
Personal best in sector 2. Checkered flag is waiting for him. Will it be for pole position, or can Albert Costa put another fast lap in? At the moment, he's not up on the first split, so
he's not far away.
No,
he's 2 tenths down.
Yeah, that's not good enough in one corner.
3 tenths down. 8 tenths down on Harper. Here's Harper, personal best all the way through. Comes through and improves to an 18.523, but that doesn't move him past Costa, but he will get pole position. On Costa, I think, is backed out of it. I think Harper, by dint of Albert Costa losing his fastest lap, still hasn't beaten Lorenzo Patrese's 18.316 for Ferrari and Cettilar. Well, Costa's going to finish the lap. Let's see what he gets. He's got an 18.430, he's going to lose an 18.983. Now, let's see where that drops him down when he's lost the lap. Dan Harper, 18.523. That will be the pole position time. 2nd quickest of the GTDs, but on GTD Pro Pole. There to go, red flag. And that will not stop the session. We are just under the minimum time by about half a minute.
Understandably, George breathing very, very heavily. That will be quite an adrenaline spike.
Well, you saw that coming from a long way off. Well, the front end of that Oryx has held up brilliantly there.
They are built so tough. These, you think, oh, it's an LMP2 prototype, it'll be really fragile. No, they can take a thump, these cars.
Now I'm saying that. Has he got a slight issue with the right front? That was very odd. I think he turned in too early. Ow. Ow, ow, ow.
Oh, that sound.
Horrible sound. Yeah, he turned in too early to 5. Didn't hook the right-hand curb. It's like kathunk.
I don't like it.
You know what the worst bit of it is, though? The silence afterwards. If you've ever had a big accident in your street car or on the track, it's the sheer silence afterwards. Let's have a look again. Yeah, turned in too early. Had to hook the right-hand curb for a longer time. Aaron's just playing with us now, replaying that noise over and over again.
So, because we were just short of the 10 minutes,
yeah.
do we then have to go back to the clock will stop, or
no?
What do we do, or is that it?
I think because this is the end of the day. Well, first of all, we'll get going again. We've got the green flag, so we'll get another 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So that will take us over the 10 minutes. You have to have 10 minutes of green flag. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes continuous green flag. It just has to be 10 minutes under green flag conditions.
PJ Hyatt having a performance in the tyre here, coming onto his last lap in qualifying. Looks like he's done a build lap here on this lap out of the pits. Does he have the performance in the car to get a 4th pole position of the year?
That's a good question. He's on it now. Through turn 1, down through the gearbox, looking through the corner, up to the top of the hill, exactly as he should. Visor open, as it sun's not right in his eyes. That's neat and tidy. Clicks up through the gears, down through the S's. 8.5 seconds. It's not bad. He's on pace. This long middle sector will tell the tale of the tape. He needs to find 0.2 of a second to usurp Stephen Thomas. Checkered flag has come out. These laps will count. Dan Goldberg on a better lap as well. Needs to be somewhere, PJ needs to be somewhere 40 seconds or below. And he's a 38.5, still not his best. What's he got left for the short final sector? And the 88 blue car of Luis Perez Campagne. I think that was a spin at turn 5, yeah. So here is PJ coming down the hill, wrestling with the Cosworth steering wheel. Crosses the line.
Not quite.
It was his own best last sector. Dan Goldberg did improve, and he goes up to 4th, ahead of Nick Bull.
That's important for championship points as well. Goldberg had to do that, had to dig deep there. Still behind Hyatt, but minimises the damage.
Well, and Hyatt also minimized his damage. Remember, he was going to lose his fastest lap and kind of back that one up there with a pretty good second lap. So
yeah,
I think that's what's dropped him down to 3rd.
Correct.
As it runs. Goldberg so close. That's who he needed to be ahead of to inch a little bit closer in the title fight. It was 85 points coming in, but he'll actually lose 1 point here in qualifying.
How did Luis Perez Campagne spin coming through the exit of 5 and not end up in the gravel? Slightly impeding John Ferrano, who had to lift off and go around the outside of him there at 5. So Stephen Thomas from Jeremy Clark, TDS from Inter Europol, 0.2 between them. Then PJ with 2 good laps because he knew he was losing one. So AO Racing and Spike the Skeletal Dragon. With United Autosports' Dan Goldberg on row 2. Row 3 will be Nick Bull and Gar Robinson, United and Riley. Toby Lutger for ERA and Luis Perez Campagne for the light blue number 88 AF Corsa. Chris Cumming for Pratt Miller Motorsport on row 5 with Naveen Rao and John Ferrano on the inside of row 6, all subject to post-qualifying technical inspection.
The difference in stability the car visibly has. I mean,
yes.
Even if in total layman's terms, the car just looks so much more planted than it did at the start of the year.
Part of that was the start of the year was at Sebring, and nothing looks terribly planted there.
True.
But that car in particular was all over the place. I think they were the first to admit that, and they've dialed it in, and across the board, it's just been a market improvement one race week into the next.
The comment from Ian James last night at the end of the nighttime practice really made me sit up and take notice. The World Endurance Championship team was testing at a circuit in France yesterday, he said. I suspect that was Paul Ricard. I have to check it up, but I suspect that is where it was. But it matters not. That's not what's important. What's important is what Ian said. Ian said, we found some improvements in changes to some of the electrical module settings, the control settings, is basically what he's talking about. We then duplicated that onto this IMSA car, the number 23, and found a performance upgrade. Okay, here comes Nick to the line. Yellowly goes through with a 109.999, not quicker than his 908.
Went away.
Yeah.
Went away in that last sector.
At the moment, Tom Blomqvist has the best sector times for sectors 1 and 2. 3 minutes to go. Yellowly maybe will be able to gather his thoughts. Philippe Albuquerque in the mostly chrome blue Dex Imaging number 10, Wayne Taylor Cadillac. Through to turn 10B now. That car colour is absolutely incredible. That faded into black at the back really suits the car. And that was, I think that was a warm-up lap, if you will, because going through turn 1 now, the car hitting the ground as he goes through turn 1. Philippe Albuquerque then, to keep an eye on his times. His best. 3/10 away though from what Tom Blomqvist can do. Tom Blomqvist, he's absolutely nailing that first sector. Off for the 24 BMW, Dries Vanthoor.
Well, Blomqvist was quickest in that first sector through all 3 practice sessions as well. So he, whether it's a line or whether it's a systems thing with the car or whatever it is, he has got an edge over everyone. He is pulling, I mean, he's 2/10 quicker than Jack Aitken just in sector 1 alone, and the gap between them is 2/10. So that first corner basically is the difference between Blomqvist being on pole and Aitken being on pole. And Aitken's into the pit, so he's made me a liar. I predicted him so boldly.
Ross Gunn improves to a 1:10.254, and the Heart of Racing Valkyrie up into 4th position. 6/10 away from pole position, and they're not done. I think he's going for another lap here. It's Acura, Cadillac, Acura, Porsche, Aston Martin, Valkyrie, Porsche, Lamborghini, Roman Grosjean into the pit lane. Then Cadillac, the 2 BMWs, Cadillac and the 85. Max Esterton, welcome Max Esterton. Another Team USA alumni making his debut in the 963.
7/10 of a second off Felipe Nasser.
Yeah.
One of the best drivers this championship's ever seen. And then, yes, it comes out the factory with equal machinery, but there are nowhere near as many engineers on that independent JDC car as there are on the Porsche Penske Motorsport. Big, huge well done to Max Esterson.
And to John Church as well for getting that programme financed and getting it here. I had a quick chat with the man with his name on the door as the Aston starts again. John Church last night was talking to him, and Richard Westbrook's still with the team, helping them out there, staying in our hotel. And we had a little sort of mix and mingle when we got back from the track last night. And I said to John Church, and I absolutely meant this, I said, John, I know sometimes it can be frustrating, particularly when you're up against the might of the teams you're up against, but please, 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 whenever you get downhearted, remember this, the fans out there absolutely live and breathe for you privateer teams. And as the checkered flag comes out, and when you have a good day or when you have a bad day, you're a fan favourite with that bright yellow 85. And this sport was built on privateers. There's always a place for the John Churches of this world, I think, in these paddocks.
I sure hope so. And think of Porsche's heritage too, the 956 and the 962, running in privateer hands for so many years.
Fastest of anybody in the final sector, Ross Gunn with a 24.3, but doesn't improve. So that Aston from just after the kink, halfway down the back straight to the finish line, that's pace in a straight line. That is pace in a straight line from the V12. BMW still to come to the line. Sheldon von der Linde, is he going to improve, Peter?
Let's have a look. I don't think so. No, it's not a good qualifying session for BMW. They really needed the points. You know, the number 24 car sitting in third, 145 points from the lead. They needed pole. They needed Dries Vanthoor to pull that out, but they're a long way off there, down in ninth. And it's not just it's not really the position on the grid per se. It's the points you get from qualifying. They'll be disappointed with that.
Top 8 within 6/10 of a second, certainly under 7/10 of a second, on a 1 minute, what, 1 minute 10-ish, that 109.9, 109.6. New qualifying records for Acura. And there was a media mingle last night with Acura and MSR. Had a chat with David Salter, the man at the head of the motorsport program here in the US for HRC.